Hello, and welcome to another edition of the CBL Changeup. My name is Mark Pare, alongside Braeden Ferrington, Neil Srivastava, and our special guest, Dan Dominguez from out west in Chatham-Kent. And guys, it's been a little while since we've been able to gather and get the latest headlines. Still just about, well, let's count it up. About 2 months away from the regular season, less than 2 months away from the official kickoff of the CBL regular season. And, well, we haven't been able to get to a lot of the transactions that have occurred lately. There has been some news over the last couple of months since we've been able to sit down and get to it. So let's just get right into it. And Dan, because you are our special guest here today, you are in the Chatham-Kent area. You've been seeing the ins and outs of Barnstormers, the transactions, and everything that has been occurring over the last little bit. Man on the scene, what's happening over there in Chatham-Kent, and who are some of these signings that have really stuck out to you lately?
Well, the first one, the obvious one, they had to get Evan Morrison, Rookie of the Year. Chatham made a point of making him priority number one, and he's back, and he's just killing it. He's playing at Grand Valley State right now. Last I checked, he's batting in about the 480s, 490s with a 1200 OPS. So he'll be really strong. And then you'll see a lot of the same guys back. Oda, Spencer Marin, real on-base machine, young kid Owen Constantino. Pitching, two-way Akatsuka coming back, and then I'm sure, Mark, you've seen a lot of Dakota Parsons there. They got in a trade, so hopefully he'll be another. The one complaint in Chatham was always maybe lacking a few arms. That they scored some runs, but obviously playing in that park, they gave up a few runs, but they had to try and keep those numbers down. So hopefully Parsons can do that as well. Yokoyama coming back. I can't break the news yet, but there's going to be a lefty coming in the next day or two. You'll be seeing it on the transaction. So someone who played a little bit of affiliated Major League Ball, a little bit with the Blue Jays, a little bit with the Dodgers. But you'll see that in the next day or so on Barnstormer social media. So a big left-handed pitcher. So hopefully the Barnstormers can strike gold with him.
You talk about, obviously, Evan Morrison, a big signing for him coming back, the Rookie of the Year from last season. One thing that really stuck out to us was, obviously you go into the playoffs, you don't have Evan in the lineup because of college commitments, and you do get the win in one of those games in that playoff series, but it felt like without Evan in the lineup, that spark just kind of was missing, if you will. How do you feel the Barnstormers have been able to kind of, I guess, maybe get that spark beyond Evan Morrison and perhaps make that next step forward in being a contender here in this league?
Yeah, without a doubt, Morrison was a key. Niels we saw those games. Spencer Marcus was playing on one leg, if that, during that game. So when you're losing your top two hitters, pretty much, the third one being Fukuda, who just recently signed as well. And then again, it just came down to the arms. Chatham just didn't quite have enough. Chatham-Kent didn't have quite enough. But hopefully this year with the new player, Akatsuka, Parsons, a new signing from the France Division 1, Thibaut McCartier. Some nice numbers from the France Division 1 last year in 2025. So I think all of you guys seeing all the teams pitching, pitching. You can never have enough, right, Braeden? So that'll come down to it. It seemed like we were doing the Louis Varland for the Blue Jays. Just keep throwing them out there every single game with guys like Pettipiece, and they just get tired. Now going to a 48 game season, you're gonna need more arms.
No questioning her.
Yes, indeed. Braeden, Neil, whichever of you two want to chime in first, what do you guys make of Chatham-Kent and just what they've been able to do lately?
Well, like I said, I said many times on the broadcast last year, as far as everything else, you can tell the first year they were kind of getting their feet wet. They kind of figured out what's going on as the year went on. Last year, I think they turned some heads and say, okay, these guys are legit as far as this stuff goes. Battling for fourth and fifth place is not a bad spot to be, especially in that very small loop now. But you're going to have to really, do they have enough to make the top four here to make the playoffs now? That's the question. Or are they going to have to hit that fifth seed and have to play that buying? I don't want to call it buying game, but it's a win to get in kind of thing. But that's pretty much what it boils down to now.
Yeah.
And then one more thing. Sorry, Braeden, I forgot you can talk about two guys. The new manager, the Flying Frenchman, Tom Donnell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Year 3 here. Like, this is going to be year 3 for Chatham. Okay. Like, do you guys think the shine has kind of, I'm not going to say worn off, but now this is like make or break almost. Like, are you a contender or are you just a bottom seed just in the league? That's kind of where I see it. Like, yeah, these are some great moves, but now you kind of have to put that, that step forward here.
Yeah.
Now you got to like, okay, we want to contend, time to shine. So I'll be interested to see how it works. Like, obviously, like, you have your perennials, like you have your Barries, your Londons, your Welland. Like, did they slide in that 4th spot?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's too early, obviously, but I think like they're making waves here that in previous years you didn't see these kind of moves this early from Chatham, right? So I think it's a good step forward here, and then obviously, Dan, and I know you're not an insider, but
Call him an insider for today.
last you're coming, so
I think they've definitely improved. They're still. I wouldn't call this make or break at all. Their average age of signed guys right now is 24 and a half years old. So, and a lot of these guys have been together now for their 3rd year. So they're still by a year plus the youngest team in the league. And some of these guys are now entering their 3rd year. So, and the next 2 youngest teams are Toronto and Kitchener currently. So they're still a really young team. And that was their goal. Grow old together, get experience together, gain maturity in this league and in the new CBL, and eventually contend. Even last year, 2nd through 8th place, 7 games, right? So Welland's up there, but after that, it's I think 2 through 8. You can do coin flips all the way down. It feels like.
Yeah, and touching on Welland, where you think about how powerful they have been during the regular season. Yes, they won the championship last year, but as soon as you get into the playoffs, everybody starts at 0 all over again. I mean, we've seen, the fits that some teams have been able to cause Welland in the playoffs in the last couple of years, including Guelph a couple of years ago. I think game 1 against Barrie in the IBL finals last year was really a tone setter where that game could have gone either way, and then who knows if Barrie wins that game 1, what does that series really look like at the end of the day? And then even Welland in the semifinals, they had to go through some tough battles in order to get where they needed to go. But at the end of the day, you can play through 48 games, punch your ticket. Plain and simple. You punch your ticket in, it's anybody's ball game. And now in the professional leagues where you're not, as worried about guys leaving for college because you don't have that with the NCAA anymore, more with OUA and new sports per se. We'll get into that conversation in just a little bit, but it does feel like it's a little bit more open than it has been in recent years. I don't know what you guys think about that, but am I hitting on something? Am I a little bit off? Or
I think you are, because it just doesn't. I think even a casual outsider, as far as you see, you see the teams growing together, gelling together. August hits, and a lot of rosters got depleted because the guys that went back to school, like Guelph went through that with a lot of their infield. Like Brandon Lou had to leave, some other guys had to leave, some pitching guys they were lidar as far as the pitching staff had to leave, so they had problems with that. Kitchener ran into it. Hamilton didn't have as much, but the year before that, it was like, losing 6 guys come August, so it's hard to build around that. Toronto lost some guys too, and it's just, I don't know. As far as that stuff goes, it's always in the back of your head, like going, well, maybe we had to look at, maybe we shorten the season and get everything done by August, so we don't lose so many guys. But then again, you cut down, because I think the attendance numbers actually start rising once August hits. People are starting getting back home. They're not spending every weekend at the college anymore. Okay, kids are going back to school in 2 weeks. I got to do this, and this before they're back. Let's catch some baseball in town. So yeah, it was a tough place to balance that stuff too. And even just as now they pushed it back even further. So now we're going to get finishing the end of September almost, as far as I guess when the playoffs and everything else are going to be done now.
Well, it's the end of August.
The playoffs. Yeah.
Yeah.
like what I'm really excited for, just like going back to Chatham side of it, like, yes, they're a younger group here. They are hosting the All-Star game.
Yeah.
Their whole city, town, county is literally embracing this team, this All-Star event. Like, if I was Chatham right now and if I was Harry and Dom, I'm like, why not us? Like, why not go for it?
Yeah.
You already have the buzz. You have the whole town going for you. Like, what's stopping you?
Well, exactly.
And I agree. And you see with some of these signings bringing, obviously with the 8 imports, they're up to, I think about, this will be 5th one coming, but there's a kid, Kean Johnston, coming from out west out of British Columbia. Big outfielder, 6'5".
220.
He looks like a unit out there. And he put up some impressive numbers. Julian Monks, Chatham's always been trying to find a steady third baseman. He might be it. And then just recently in a trade, Thomas Green. So a nice glove defensively. So good enough bat, but getting him for his glove for sure. So I'm hoping, they're making moves. And like I said, the arms, they still have, they got 7 currently. So they're going to obviously need still a bunch of arms to go.
Well, speaking of Thomas Green and speaking of the qualifications that he brings into Chatham-Kent, it includes a shiny new ring with the Welland Jackfish, and of course they end up making a move. One move that really stuck out to me. They just really love their big guys. Miles Martinez, 6'6", making the trip over to the pond, and I will ask this question just point blank, and maybe it's a little bit more of an open-ended question on the Jackfish. Do you feel like the off-season they have improved, or they have kind of regressed a little bit based on just the signings and the transactions that they have gone through during the off-season?
Well, I know J-Mac and I know Ryan Harrison and those guys, they keep everything very close to the chest. So, you haven't seen anything yet. Like, they always pull the one, how the hell did you pull this guy out of here? I'm waiting for that to drop. I know J-Mac's going to probably text me the day before. By the way, it's going in tomorrow. Enjoy that one. Because he knows as soon as I see it, I'm going to be texting him back. Yeah. It's just, he knows that.
Like, it's tough. Again, because I've been on the other side of this.
Yeah.
Like, I faced Welland a billion times in my life. And they just somehow keep getting better and better.
Yep.
Every year. And you're always like, when is this going to stop? And somehow it just keeps going.
Well, they do a really good job of vetting guys before they even bring them in to the mix.
Yeah.
They have to be able to gel. They do a lot. J-Mac and the team does a lot of research on these guys. They dig into everything with these guys. So, when they finally do come here, they're going to fit into these pieces. They're going to fit and be a very important pillar of what they're building out there.
Yeah.
And Ryan Rios and those guys mentioned it last year, the championship hangover. I don't think you're going to see the Welland Jackfish go through that. I think the Jackfish, they're just how they're put together and everything, and how this team is built, how the program is built. There's no time for a hangover.
No.
It's just we got to keep going. We got to keep filling the seats. We got to keep doing everything in the community to make more people want to be here. You want to see a string of sellouts.
Like, is it too early to call like league MVP already? Is it too early for that?
No, I don't think so. You can definitely put your early candidates in.
You're way too early.
Why don't we put some for next episode? If Dan, you want to jump in and just send your list in, by all means, man. Why don't we put some names out there?
I think I know what you're gonna guess. What are you guessing, Braeden? What's your early one? I think I know what you're gonna say.
It's gonna be not even close. Justin Gibbons.
Nope. That's exactly who I was
thinking.
Big
over for everybody.
Oh no. Yeah. It's been such a fun thing to watch Gideon grow. Like even back in 2019 and everything else, when he was here and just okay, this kid's got it.
Yeah,
I saw it with Brock in spurts against Guelph. I saw it when he was playing in Hamilton against Guelph against the Royals and everything else. You see the spurts, and then he goes to Welland and it's like, okay, yeah, he can definitely bang this ball. And he goes to Quebec and puts on the circus show out there, and I call it that because that catch you made in right field. I'm sorry, that's just still top 5. How the hell did you do that?
Yeah, like Justin is. I've this is on record, and he knows this too.
Yeah.
He is the best hitter I have ever faced in my whole career, including big league guys. Like it's not even close. Like the bat to ball skill is outstanding. Like he can foul off balls that shouldn't even be fouled off. First off, like he's just one of those guys that honestly, because I've got to know him personally over the last couple of years. Like he is so quirky that like he finds joy and entertainment out of fouling balls off to piss a pitcher off.
Of course he does.
And, like me as a competitor, like I love that because I'm like, how do I navigate this? Like
he
this
strikes
guy
me as the guy that if the ball was coming inside at him, he'd probably pick it up with his bare hand, throw it back at the pitcher, and say, "Now try again."
Yes, and like so, I even know this. So there's a clip out there from back in his Burlington days. Okay, when like he ran through that fence.
Yeah,
I was literally in that dugout beside where he ran through that fence, and that was my first like, "Hey, welcome to Justin Gideon." I'm like, "Wow, this guy's a psychopath." Like, this guy just ran through a chain link fence. Like, no, thank you.
Oh, thanks.
Like, what is wrong with you, sir?
So, Mark, you asked the question. I'm going to say they're going to be even better. 31 wins last year. That projects on average to 35 with the expanded schedule. I can see them getting that and maybe a few more. They got their core so far, and then you add obviously Gideon, Ethan Mann, the kid who played in Germany, with some really impressive numbers, and then Carson Johnson's good numbers in NCAA. Adding you mentioned Martinez and also Owen Ozanich, for another France division pit with some real impressive numbers. Whip under 1. So I don't see them going down at all. I think it's you know what I mean. I don't want them to turn into the Dodgers here. I know still some sore memories of that one, but
the pain.
And on top of that, can't forget about Robert Mullen behind the dish.
No,
the core is there.
Oh darn, Robert Mullen.
Yeah.
Scary lineup.
No, and you got to keep in mind some of these guys last year came back from professional leagues just to play back in Welland because they wanted to win a championship. They weren't having fun playing in the Quebec League. They weren't playing, and wherever they were, it's just like, you know what, we're coming back. We're coming back here, and we're just going to have some fun and play some baseball. And you know, you can't discount that either. So it speaks to the culture they have in Welland.
Yeah, and now that we're in the professional ranks and things are kind of taking that next step up, the hope is that we see other teams kind of step up to the plate and be, not exactly like Welland, but perhaps kind of emulate some of the successes that they have had to start the turnstiles turned around a little bit more, like they did in Welland over the last couple of years, because it has been impressive and the results have been there indeed. One other transaction to touch on here is a big one that really stuck out to me, and it was the Guelph Royals and the Toronto Maple Leafs getting together. Dustin Richardson is now a Guelph Royal, along with Lucas Boscarino. Brando LaRue and some cash considerations go the other way to Leafland. And I mean, no disrespect in any way to other closers in the league, but did Guelph just acquire the best closer in the league?
Yes.
Yes, and then and the other thing you have to remember is they also have Andrew Case there too now. So you have 1-2. It's like, okay, Dustin's not feeling it tonight. Let's go to Case.
Yeah.
Or it's vice versa, or you can you now cut these baseball games down to 7 innings, realistically.
Yeah.
So now if you're going to beat the Guelph Royals, you have 7 innings to do so, because if it gets the ball past the 7th inning, it's either going to Case or it's going to Richardson as far as that stuff goes, and it's like, okay, how are you going to deal with that? So you're playing with 7 innings. So if you get off to a slow start against Guelph, it's going to be hard to stick into this one.
Yeah, and that gives them the chance to put Garcia. He kind of went back and forth. Started in the pen, then moved to the rotation. So now it's a no-brainer. They don't need him on the back end. He can, even if he's not giving you 6-7 innings, if he gives you 5 strong, that's exactly. You know what I mean. You only, like Neil said, you only have to get to the 7th.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also even that, like, it makes the offense kind of relax. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, back of your brain, okay, we got 2 guys here that are about to shove.
Yeah. We
can just kind of do our thing. Don't just stress about going all 9 innings here. Let's just figure out the 7 and let's go home with a win. So it'll be interesting just to see it, right? Because as you guys all know, Mark and Neil more so, when Andrew Case during his minor league tenure had a full season, he was good, right? And then you have the short spurts of Andrew Case that were a flip of the coin. It could be good, could be bad. I'm curious to see what they're going to get for a full season with him. Like,
exactly. And I think it's going to be different for him, even just because he's not going to, he's not being parachuted in the end of July or something and have to qualify within 3 weeks here for playoffs.
Yeah.
It's just going to be okay. They can take him at his own pace here. They don't have to go and burn him out in 3 weeks here.
Yeah.
That's what happened when they had to play you guys in that one game playoff. He went out there and he was like, I got nothing in the tank.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
Bunt finishes
it. Oh, exactly. I've got a different angle of that bunt, and you can just see the reaction on his face. It's just like,
Dan, what say you about the Guelph Royals?
Yeah, the pitching's there. The offense struggled last year. They were second last in the league in scoring runs. Yeah. So I mean, eventually you're gonna have to put a few runs up on the board. So and right now, pretty much I'm looking at the core right now. DeSantos is back. Garrett as well.
Yep.
Morrow,
DeSantos gets acquired.
Yeah, DeSantos was acquired, but
but they're with Guelph this year. One of the older teams, almost 30 years of age average, but they're gonna win and lose on that pitching because the offense isn't gonna knock any fences down. Like I said, it looks pretty similar to last year. Got a few new signings, but it's definitely going to come down to that rotation in the pen.
Exactly. They're gonna have to keep the game close, and they're gonna have to, they have to manufacture runs. They're gonna have to play a little small ball, probably a little more than they're used to playing. As far as they don't have the big boppers, they don't have the Sean Rileys, the Josh Gartons of old, where they get sets the table for a Riley or Garton, they can get a 3-run shot and put you back in the scoreboard or anything like this. And they really have to use the dimensions of Hastings Stadium to their advantage. They have to hit these gaps. They have to use their speed out there, and just try to cover as much ground as you can in the outfield, and then on offense, you just got to find a way to hit the gaps.
That Topley speed.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 1 RBI away from 500. I mean, do they just try to get it and then see where things go after that? Or?
I would think so. Like, I think you're going to see that as far as that stuff goes. Plus, you got to remember, you got Liam Wilson, you got Andy out there as well. As far as that stuff goes, Andy's now a firefighter, I think, in the Kitchener-Waterloo region now. So it's like, okay, whenever
recently
schedule works,
engaged too.
Yeah, congratulations again to Andy. So yes, as far as that stuff goes, but yeah, it's a different team. The team is getting older. Well, these guys, I know Leader and Wilson want to win a championship before they're done. JD's out there, and they got Merrick Desko back out there too now. So it's just now the Polish Prince is still going.
Oh man.
They're bringing some banana ball to the. I know Dustin didn't like the banana ball, but they got Marcus Castillo from the Banana League from last year. So we'll see how he's coming back.
I mean, I'm curious to see if Liam Wilson can get back to his prime, Kitchener Panthers days form, because this is a guy that we know can go possibly into double-digit home runs when he's really cooking. You touched on Andy already. I mean, JD is going to be near the top of the lineup. If not, it's going to be the leadoff guy along with Ryan DeSantos. They are going to have a lot of speed on that base path. And, the offense is there. It's just a matter of, can they execute? You can have the best offense on paper, but if the execution just isn't isn't there, that's really all it is. It's you're a great team on paper. On the field,
Team USA in the World Baseball Classic.
Exactly.
Runs.
Yeah.
Congratulations to Team Venezuela, by the way.
Yes.
We move on now to the Hamilton Cardinals, and lately they have been picking up some players from familiar ground across the CBL. Notably, Jeremy VU is now a Hamilton Cardinal, and so is Danny Garcia. What say you guys about the Hamilton Cardinals, those two moves, and just in general, the outlook of the Cardinals at this point?
Well, they definitely needed another catcher now that they lost Yammer Hernandez, so they needed somebody to step in that role. And of course, Jeremy's very familiar. He played in the Cardinals organization, and even in junior, as far as that stuff goes. So he's moving closer to home, anyways, his home base, as far as that stuff goes. And his love of anime is gonna definitely get a chance to shine out there too. So that's kind of cool as far as that stuff goes. And he's a good guy, and I think he's gonna be tasked with balancing this pitching staff as they come through, and he gets to catch Owen Boone on probably at least once every weekend. So that's gonna help.
Yeah, I think in the room he's gonna be one of those guys that speaks his mind. He's not afraid to tell somebody, "Hey, wake up." Mm-hmm. So in all reality, is this what Hamilton needed? Probably. Like, they had all these expectations last year, and I'm going to say they probably fell short of whatever.
No question. I think last year the plan was to get the finals and try to upset somebody and win that championship. And it's just like, okay, I think Eric and the team realized, okay, we're not quite there yet.
Yeah.
When they ran to Barrie, and it was just like, okay, we're not 100% and everything else. And Barrie was just able to use that veteran presence, that experience they had beforehand, and just made short work of it.
Yeah, and it's like nothing against Jeremy. Like,
nope.
Is he that polarizing figure in your lineup? Probably not.
No.
But is he a very, very good 7, 8, 9 guy in your lineup? Heck yes.
Yeah.
I don't think they're relying on him for the bat. They still got that meat of the order. You got Duncan, Dominguez, and Nickel. Yolke's back. Yeah. So the core offense is there. But just manage that pitching staff, and it doesn't hurt when you have Owen Boone every 5 days or so. So
exactly.
And Thomas and then Hector Yon coming back too. So another strong starter.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. And I think if Tanner Rempel stays healthy the whole year, doesn't have some freaky incidents with a viral thing or something else that's going on in his life, or two almost near misses with a concussion and everything else, it's just like, if he stays healthy, he plays first base, they're going to be okay on that side of the diamond too.
Or doesn't dye his hair blonde.
Yeah, that too. That too.
Moving, unless you guys have anything else on Hamilton that you guys have noticed lately, we're going to move on to Jeremy VU's former stomping grounds over at Arnold Anderson Stadium. And, we finally have a bit of clearer look on what their roster looks like. The other day, the massive list of transactions coming on. Aiden Armitage predicted it. Well, it wasn't really predicted it. It was a spoiler when he joined us last, saying, hey, we've got all these signings, we just haven't put it into the queue as of yet. Well, now they're into the queue, and there's a whole lot of names in there, notably Brody Black, Leandro Magia, Ethan Paulos is in there as well. Tim Holick also is a big signing for them as well, coming over from the Frontier League. Of course, Aiden, he already confirmed on the show that he had signed, so he is part of that list. Lucas Lefebvre. But other notable transactions out of Brantford, including Nikolai Arbach to Sioux Falls, and Ren Takioka has transferred out as well, and looks like he's going to be playing, looks like in Mexico, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Nice. Yep, that's what I saw.
So what do you guys make of the Brantford Red Sox at this stage?
Well, they pulled a classic Jack Dominico room, just put a whole bunch of roster names in it all at once. So, it's an old school throwback here, but I don't think it was intentional either. But again, it might have been just because maybe Terry's keeping the cards close to his chest this year and didn't want to tip his hand too early. But yeah, I think the core got a good taste of winning last year at the end there, and they were riding that high and everything else. And anytime you can go win your last game of your season, not a bad thing.
No. Only one of their team did that, so good for them.
They're a young team. 14 of their guys on opening day are going to be 25 or under. So that's a really young team. So and then, as Mark, you mentioned, losing Ren and Nikolai, those are two good players at Brantford with a dozen wins last year. That's going to be tough to replace to get up into now. It's not the 8 spot anymore, right? You got to get up to that 5 spot. So
exactly.
They probably still have some moves that they need to make to try and jump up to that playoff contention level. Holick, obviously, he was tearing it up in his only 32 at bats, but with them last year. But he'll be strong for them coming back this year.
Oh, no question he will be, and of course you can't. I think Brody Black's probably going to fill into that role too, is just as far as when he gets an opportunity to play on a regular basis, like he saw spurts against and gave Hamilton fits that one game, that game I thought was going to be over in a hurry, and all of a sudden, looking at his dad in the stand, the next thing you know, his son goes up there and hits the baseball. So yeah, I'm just like, okay, great. We're not going to interview Rod Black now. No, not going to talk to him at all.
What would be considered a successful season for the Brantford Red Sox? Is it just simply don't finish last?
I think they're capable of turning the page this year. I think, honestly, they might get to 18, maybe 19 wins this year, depending on where their schedule breaks down to and everything else. And they've done themselves a disservice on those Friday night games because again they play Friday night and then usually it's Saturday afternoon after getting off the diamond, a little bit after midnight, and then you're back at it. 10 o'clock for batting practice the next day for 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock start in Brantford.
Yeah, I would say a 500 squad. That'd be for me. That's a success.
Mm-hmm.
I think Terry is coming in. I'm not gonna say guns blazing, but he has high hopes and he wants to compete.
Yeah.
And I think honestly, as a player, that's all you want is to have the guy at the front of it wanting to compete. And you know what? They couldn't get much worse than a couple years ago. So, I think last year, winning the last game of the year was a pretty good milestone for this group. And honestly, most of these guys are going to come back from last year. So that says a lot about the room itself, I feel.
Yeah.
They
got a lot, almost everyone. It's only 3 new guys that I see so far. Axel Rosario, pitcher they got played in the Royals org. So, but yeah, they definitely have their work cut out for them. Going from 12 wins, they would have to double that to become a 500 club this year, get to 24 and 24. So that's asking a lot. So, maybe that 5 seed's not quite there yet, but, I was saying with Chatham, another young team, Terry wants them to grow together, gain experience together, and just, try and climb the ladder of the CBL.
Now, I guess, what do you guys see? What is going to be that fourth, 5 spot? What is that? How many wins are these teams going to need to be in those spots? Do you see Welland, like you said, you see Welland probably hitting 35. Do you see anybody else getting past 30? Is the next question. Is there anybody that's got enough depth to get past 30?
Barrie might have a shot, but that's really the only.
Yeah.
They might be like that 27 to 29 range.
Mm-hmm.
Well, London is such an unknown. Honestly, my early projections, nobody else is. I got London in the 2 spot right now. You got, anytime you got Victor and you got Keys coming back, you're starting with a pretty nice list. And we talked about earlier, these guys are gonna have to have name tags in the dugout because that entire locker room, is brand new. So they're gonna have to have a meet and greet at some point early on. So they're an unknown, but. I guess I have to trust London that they're going to be strong. So we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, what do you guys make of those London recent transactions? Mako Escada, who was playing AA at one point last year, Dustin Davidson, Kyle Maves is making a return as well, but also noticing a couple of notable releases in the last couple of months. Notably, Jose Arias, Francisco Fajardo, Champ Garner, Tyler Gillies, Jared Lund. It's a lot of turnover for a team that could be looked at as a contender coming up in 2026. Have they filled in the gaps enough to get themselves back up to where they were last year?
Yeah, I think Roop's still working the phone, still working his contacts, and trying to find another diamond in the rough that he can lean on to shoulder a lot of the load and maybe just some of the offense as well. But yeah, it's just going to be. Maybe wait and see it anyways, and of course they don't have a lot. I think they're not going to panic yet, but I think Roop wants to know what he's got going into early June, late in mid-July here, as far as everything else goes, rather than being stuck, waiting around, going, okay, can we pull this off? Can we find somebody late season here and just try to rush them in here and qualify? But Roop doesn't like doing that. He likes to have everything kind of laid out for him early and advanced, and just be able to go through there and know, okay, you're my guys. I'm going to ask you to step up and pitch every 3 days, every 4 games here as far as this stuff goes. And, have that confidence that if I hand you the baseball, you're going to get me a couple innings, get me outs.
Yeah.
And it looks like they got deeper. We talked last year, one of their issues was how many games did Skylar Janice pitch last year? It was still, 23 games last year.
Yeah.
So he was worn out by the end of the year. So they just weren't deep enough. So now with all these new import signings, looks like a lot of them are coming out from the pitching staff. So if he gets that pitch rotation and bullpen deeper, maybe they'll be able to give Welland and Barrie, play up at the top of the ladder.
I asked this question about Welland. I'm going to ask the same thing about the Barrie Baycats. win the championship a couple seasons ago. They make it to the finals last season. Very similar core that they have coming back. They haven't really done much lately. They've made a couple of transactions here and there, including Brandon Hernandez just a couple of days ago, added to the transaction list officially. Have they improved or have they regressed?
I think last year, because Josh Mallow likes to do everything early. So I think he's had a lot of these cards sitting on. He's been sitting on these things. He probably just throws them in occasionally. Okay, throw this one up. Sam, go do some work. As far as that stuff goes, so shout out to Sam O'Coin for having to work on that stuff. But again, it's just like, I think they're just kind of like last year and everything else. The championship hangover hit early, hit hard. They found themselves behind the 8 ball for, I want to say, the good first part of the season. Anyways, they weren't finding their footing. Things weren't gelling with their acquisitions, imports, and everything else. There was actually arguments in dressing room, parking lots, and whatever else. We're not going to dig into those, but they were there.
Yeah,
and we heard about them. So it's just, we're not going to dig into that stuff because out of respect to Josh and everything else, and the players that are still around, I don't want to dig into that stuff. It's just not good.
That'll be saved for the documentary.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I still see them as a playoff team, though. Yeah, I mean, maybe
no question.
they won't finish as 2, but they're maybe it's a play-in game. Who knows? Because, but I mean, we talked about it comes down to the arms. I mean, you got Sano and Garces. Benitez is there again, and then they got again a few unknowns. You got a couple guys who played some affiliated ball in 2024, Encarnacion and Moretta. So these guys they come in unknown. So it's just kind of a wait and see.
Well, as long as Hernandez brothers can stay healthy, I think their middle infield is fine.
Yeah.
Then you have Nolan Macabroda at first, as long as, again, like everybody stays healthy. They might get Tristan Clark back. They might get Noel McGarry Doyle back. You don't know yet as far as that stuff goes, but it's just hard to say, again, because Tristan Clark's situation, he's a married father down in the States and everything else. Is his wife willing to let him take another 4 months off in the summertime and come up here and play baseball again? Or was it just, okay, it's a one and done? Get the demons out of your closet in your basement or everything else, But he did a great job last year, and I really enjoyed watching him play baseball.
Yeah,
you can tell he was definitely loving the game of baseball.
Yeah. So I think this team is a good 3 spot if everything goes right. So hopefully it does, and hopefully the injury bug stays away from this team, because last year that was it was just one after the other. It just seemed like, okay, they just finally get one back and they lose 2 more. Yeah, and it wasn't like little injuries. It was like, they stopped playing baseball injuries.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then one of the could be the heart and soul of the team, Rio. He got off to such a red hot start, just red hot, and then missing. Did he even a little bit at the end? He came back for an at bat or 2, I think.
Yeah.
But nothing substantial.
No.
Well, the other 2 teams we haven't touched on, they haven't really done much. Kitchener and Toronto. I mean, we've already touched on the Toronto deal with Guelph that ended up bringing in Brando LaRue. I guess to ask the question, just to touch on the Maple Leafs, Brando LaRue as a Toronto Maple Leaf, does that improve that lineup? I think it does.
Yeah.
But do they have to do more, I guess, would be my question based on what we have seen from Leafland.
So as Mark Chicago, you're going to be your everyday first baseman. That's where I would start.
Yeah.
And then you go to Brandon LaRue. Is he playing second base? Is he playing shortstop? And if he's playing shortstop, does that move the Cuban over to second base, or do they move them to third? Now, if that happens, where does Spencer Ross fit into this equation, too? They have a great infield as far as that stuff. Those 3 guys are going to eat up baseballs like crazy, which in that park, if you can keep the ball on the ground, that's a good thing. But it's just going to be okay. And then in the outfield, okay, we got Matt Fabian out there now, and you've got 2 other guys. You've got Dennis DeBanning out there. And I think he had a little bit of a resurgence, felt a little more. I think the pressure was off him last year once he got traded, because he wasn't under the microscope as much as Hamilton goes. And everybody the expectation bar wasn't so high on him as far as this stuff goes. He could just go out there and play baseball and just love the baseball game again. I think that came through as far as how he was playing through that whole year. And now, of course, they've made some moves as far as the losing to Santos and everything else over to Guelph. It's going to hurt them, but I think there's guys in that outfield that can do things, but they're not going to have the big pops. They're not going to have Like, as far as I know, Jordan Castaldo is pretty much done, unless something is changing crazily. And hey, Jordan, if you want to reach out and show us your side of the story, by all means, hit us up.
That's big too. I mean, that's the home run leader from last season.
Yeah. It is, and of course, you've got Marcus Connect coming back too, so it's going to help as long as he can stay healthy too. It's just like, hey, those are some big guys that can put up some big numbers here. So if he stays healthy,
their offense is going to score runs. So Neil just mentioned all those guys. Fabian, 2023 Rookie of the Year. Yeah. But they're gonna be giving up those high scoring, those 11-10 4-hour marathons are probably gonna be happening again over at the pit. So they have a couple arms, but again, they only have 7 guys signed right now. Six arms signed right now, so they still got some work to do.
Yeah, and I think that pitching is going to be the problem for them. It always has been the problem as far as that stuff goes. If they can get some workhorses, they don't have a Paul Spoljaric waiting in the wings or anything anymore. So it's like that. But if they can get some guys that can eat up some innings and throw the baseball and keep the ball in the park, there, it'll be a lot better.
Well, Yadier Martinez comes over. I guess you can say it's a better pitcher's park, but it's not much.
No.
No.
Well, he's one of those guys where he's going to strike out a lot of he's going to strike out a lot of batters, but he also tends to give up the long ball quite a bit. And I think that was kind of his Achilles heel in Kitchener. I feel like that was all of the pitchers in Kitchener, their Achilles heel. They can strike out.
Chatham had one of those guys with Akatsuka, yeah.
Well, as long as he can keep the ball below road level, he's fine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it to a double.
Below road level.
I like that one.
Yeah, no, literally, yeah. So the ball gets hit well and it goes above the street level, it's going to be gone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that's an insider move right there.
I'm going to be sending a box or two
from a guy who's never given up a home run at Christie Pitts.
Well,
there it is.
There it is.
Okay.
Name another pitcher who's done that.
That's tough. That's tough.
I mean,
I was gonna say Boone, but wait a minute, he gave up one last year.
Yeah.
I haven't given up a home run in Christie Pitts. Oh wait, I don't pitch.
You don't pitch.
All right. Well, not much to touch on in terms of Kitchener. They haven't really done a lot lately. They, similar to Barrie, got a lot of their transactions done and over with early on in the transaction period, which is a little bit different to what we have seen in Kitchener's years past. Of course, they have the new regime going into year 2. David Schooley, Shanif Harani, and Waterloo Region Sports and Entertainment taking over into their second year of operations with the Panthers organization. Of course, a lot of their stuff that they're looking forward to, not only on the field but off the field as well, as they look to put in some new accoutrement, if you will, for fan engagement in Jack Couch this season. So we'll see what happens with that. But early thoughts on what you guys see from the Kitchener Panthers with about a month and a half to go.
Dibs on this one.
Go ahead.
All right.
Okay, a freezy night. Are we talking like the big freezies or the little freezies?
Oh, we got big freezies.
That's all people
care.
You
got the big freezies.
It's big freezies all day.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good take. That's a good question. I don't know. The kids want to know that one.
Yeah, it's going to be big freezies.
Well, I think
if they're not, don't quote me on it. I'll go and buy the big freezies myself.
Buy the box at Costco. There you go.
Exactly.
Like $29 or something for the big box now. You always have the fills in the hands. But I think, the Kitchener moves are kind of interesting. Malik Williams and Josh Williams both being there now. They're going to help their offense as far as that stuff goes. If Josh can stay healthy, Malik can stay healthy, God willing, those two guys are going to be a menace for somebody. I wouldn't want to face those guys back to back in the lineup.
Gansey from the Summer League out west, he had some impressive numbers. So, and another outfielder for them, Pinalver as well, is always strong. So, again, that's another one of those ones. You're going to have some high-scoring games there, but we'll see if these new pitchers, they got 3 new guys that played affiliated ball, one with the Giants, Rangers, and guy 2025 was in Florida Complex League, Serrata, with the Marlins. So, we'll see what, again, all these guys coming from the affiliated ball or Dominican, they're just unknowns right now.
from what I'm gathering from all of that is there's going to be plenty of home runs. This segment is not sponsored by Fisherman's Friends, but I know I'm going to be going through a few of these this season at Couch.
Yep. Somebody should just get you a courtesy box and leave it upstairs.
Yep. And by the way, just to touch back on the Christy Pitts conversation, I'll have to get a courtesy box of a whole lot of espresso for Thomas West to go through those marathon games.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, we've touched on it a little bit, but not too much. Well, first of all, let's get right into you touched on the freezies. We'll get to that first. Promo nights coming out a lot more. I'm enjoying what I've seen from a lot of these teams. One thing that I have been hearing, a little birdie kind of told me that, you know what, these alter ego nights that we've been seeing.
Yeah.
Maybe it's something we're going to be seeing a whole lot more with other teams across the CBL. I would personally like to see it. I'm not saying that it's actually happening across the CBL, but I'd be curious to get you guys' takes on just buzz that has been these alter ego nights. You know, whether it is the Chicken Cobras over in London. What does Welland do again? I'm trying to picture it. They do a lot of alter ego nights, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. The lawn cocks and whatever else. Yeah, you got to keep in mind. Next Wednesday is April 1st, so that's usually when Matt and Ryan or somebody, they usually have something going on, those two teams. So I'm interested in waiting with bated breath to see what happens. And just remind yourself next Wednesday, don't believe anything you see on the air, anything anywhere you see, because it's just all going to be. Don't believe anything. Don't believe the hype.
But in London's case, it started as a joke, but it turned out profitable for them.
Well, exactly.
They probably sold more merch of that than they did the traditional L. You know what I mean?
I wouldn't be surprised because I know I have people reaching out to me and like going, "Can you get me some of that stuff?" I'm going, "No, you got to go to London and get that stuff, guys." It's just like I don't got anything.
So, just kind of in the spirit of these alter ego nights, what kind of alter ego nights would you guys like to see from maybe some of the other teams in the Canadian Baseball League? You know, whether it's just throwing stuff against the wall and seeing if it sticks, like we have been seeing already, or maybe some of these, I guess these older brands that have been around the league over the past years. Maybe making a return, maybe a return in Kitchener of the Waterloo Tigers, perhaps.
Yeah.
Maybe some Stratford content, maybe some St. Thomas content. What would you guys like to see?
That was the one thing I liked last year that I got asked to do as far as this stuff, all those retro jerseys and dig back into old uniforms and everything else. And it was surprising how much that stuff sold too. It just was like, really? People like this stuff? Like, okay, cool, fine. So we did a couple more, and I think we wound up doing the Niagara Falls Mariners last year was I think the last one I worked on before I packed it in and everything else. But it was just like, okay, yeah, there's stuff's out there. And it was just like, okay, that was kind of fun to do, but it was also kind of testing my patience as far as the design software and trying to get things right. And then you get somebody chime in like a day later and say, oh, by the way, our colors were actually this. And they pull out the jersey you were looking for 6 months ago. So then you fix the color schemes and everything else, and you have you get the Cambridge Terriers back to their 80s look and everything else. You have the Terriers that I kind of reinvented as far as the 1950s looks and the grays and everything else too. So it was kind of fun to do those things, but again, it's just like you have to pretty much be very devoted to those things. You gotta do it justice. I would love to see the Oshawa franchise come back in as well as far as that stuff goes too. It'd be kind of interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah, it'd be cool. And like outside of like the throwbacks, right? Like especially if teams kind of pay homage to where they came from. Like I'm not going to say like Welland does something like the Burlington Burls.
Herd. Yeah, I guarantee you'll never see another Burlington Herd thing from Ryan.
No,
it just brings back traumatic memories for all of them. So it's not going to happen.
I couldn't even say it. Like that's how bad it was.
Yeah.
But like be original. That's my thing. Like you have to be original on it. It's not something that has been done before. You got to be unique.
Yeah.
And it's something you got to think outside the box on. Like I don't know. Like for example, like I did send a certain team an idea. It's regarding like a hot dog night, right? Like I'm not gonna say whatever team name it is, but like the Dogs or Wieners or something like that, than just have an absolute wiener on the hat.
Yeah.
Making money here for somebody. So
Yeah.
what team wants to take that idea, you're welcome.
I like the throwbacks, maybe like the old London Tigers. You know what I mean? If they put that old 80s logo of the Tigers back on there, I'm sure they'd do well with that. What did Welland have? Was it the Pirates? Was that their affiliate back in the day?
Yeah, there would be Pirates.
So yeah, a couple of teams that had some affiliates. So yeah, that'd be something kind of cool for a couple of the teams to have. It's just throwbacks to some of the MLB affiliates when they were still in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'd love to see Welland do a throwback night with the Niagara Falls logo, just to kind of pay homage to, I guess, the entire Niagara region, just to kind of showcase, hey, you know what? We're Niagara's greatest show. Bring it and make it as a regional thing, kind of thing.
A jackfish in a barrel going over the falls.
Yeah, exactly.
Something like that.
That'd be cool.
Got the raincoat on, going underneath the falls.
Yeah.
With was it the Maid of the Mist? Yeah.
Slippery slope.
We want to cut of that if they do that. Tell them,
yeah, exactly. Ryan, 2%, please, right here. And 2%, I'm being cheap with it. Just saying. we're providing all the ideas here.
We're giving you a discount.
Yeah, just make us a little discount, a little something.
Mm-hmm.
The only other thing that I had on my list, guys, and I wanted to touch on this a little bit. It harkens back to a conversation that I had with Ted Collins, the CBL commissioner, when the IBL changed into the CBL, and one of the big things that he touched on is player eligibility, and didn't want to touch too much on it, just because he said at the time, this was back last fall, that conversations were happening, and he didn't really want to, jump the gun, if you will.
Yep.
But now we're starting to see maybe the fruits of those conversations start to see some light here. And one of them that dropped, since the last time we got to chat here, is learning that OUA and U Sports in general players are now eligible to play in the CBL. Very similar. Again, he used the comparison last fall to what we see with Canadian basketball players playing in the University Loop and playing in the CEBL, the Canadian Elite Basketball League. What do you guys make of this, and do you guys see this as kind of a starting point to maybe even NCAA kind of jumping on that, or do you feel like that would be too much of a stretch?
I think it's too much of a stretch with the NCAA, especially now they have the nil money down in the States and everything else. Mm-hmm. It's just going to be how do you keep that going as far as that stuff goes, because I think it just questions, okay, if you're playing in a professional league up here, does it still grant your eligibility down there as far as that stuff goes? Whereas the OUA and the OCAA, as far as that stuff goes, have different playing rules. Baseball, even university sports up here have different playing rules as far as that stuff goes. They don't classify leagues like this as professional or anything like that, so guys don't have to worry about reinstating their amateur status to play baseball. Whereas Baseball Canada rules state you have to be reinstated as an amateur to play, in anything that's sanctioned by Baseball Canada.
Yeah.
Dan, what do you make of the decision for OUA and U Sports players to be eligible to play?
It's great for those guys. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see with the playoffs going into September now. That OCAA and OUA season is so short. Middle late October, Neil, I think we're finishing up.
Exactly.
And if they miss a month of that, so I don't know about the other teams. Chatham, I can't think of anyone currently who's going to be going to St. Clair or University of Windsor or one of those schools quite yet. So, and the NCAA, I think they're just difficult to deal with. They have been for as long as I've been alive. So I don't think anything's going to change now. So
no, I don't see that changing with the NCAA. But with the OUA and the OCAA, and maybe it's an added insurance policy for some of these teams. Going, okay, maybe I can get some of these younger guys, stick on board, and we can grow with our organization as far as going forward and everything else. If you're a middle of the pack team right now, you're not going to make the playoffs. You can get some of these guys in here and say, okay, here, get some experience this summer, because we're looking at 2-3 years down the road. We're going to be a lot better. But again, are they willing to push that longevity out here as far as that stuff goes? It's up to each team to decide that too.
So I have a question here. This might stir the pot, not just in the league as a whole, but probably the whole province. I found it strange, the announcement timing of it.
Mm-hmm.
Is it because teams are finding it hard to get players to fill out a roster spot?
I think it had something to do with it. I'm pretty sure it had something to do with it in some cases.
And another question for you three to answer. Do any of these players who come from OUA or OCAA, are they even going to be on the starting 9?
That's a question. Like, again, that's just, do we see any more guys because of what's going on in the States and everything else with, various things? Somebody saying, hey, NCAA is no longer for me because of what's going on down south. And, maybe they start thinking about coming back here, and maybe it's just a cushion as far as some of these guys. We'll have to see what happens this fall as far as these rosters goes in those respective leagues. But I could see a lot more guys. This is the same thing that happened post-COVID. Hey, we're not going to the States anymore. We're just staying here. We're staying home. And,
I think that this could be the biggest recruiting tool for OUA and OCAA.
Yeah.
But those coaches got to lock in right now because this is your time to keep players home.
Oh, exactly.
So it's not an all sunshine and rainbow situation,
but if you have some ownership groups in some of these towns that have a little bit more extra pocket money, you say, hey, we can throw money towards your program too. Right. Maybe it's the terms of a scholarship for 3 to 4 of these guys.
There you go.
Keep some of these guys here, and it's nothing against the rules. So they could do that.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying there's some good baseball there. Neil see it in the OUA, I see it in the OCAA.
Yep.
I'm looking at Whittle on Sign with the Majors. Some outstanding numbers in the OCAA. Obviously, those leagues are OCAA anyway is very top heavy. There's a strong 3. Durham, St. Clair, and Humber. There are some weaker teams in there, but those top guys, and you've seen it Chatham with Spencer Marin. He came in he was playing with the full card, not just a junior card at like 21 years old. And he's held his own. That kid gets on base. So, and then now with, again, Chatham, another one, he's playing in North Arkansas now, Andy Groening, the only 19-year-old in the league right now. So he's finishing up in North Arkansas, but he's signed with the Barnstormers. So that'll be a guy, maybe he goes to one of the colleges next year. I don't know his plans, but I'm sure some of those local schools, college and university, are going to be looking at him for come September, October.
Oh, no question there will be.
Yeah, and the one thing I really think about that with this move with the OCAA and the OUA, you think about the junior programs, the 22U programs that all of these teams in the CBL are affiliated with. This kind of opens it up for a lot of those players. Hey, if you're not going to make a CBL roster, you can go down and play in the junior ranks, the 22U programs, and you're not worried about getting called up. You can get called up just like beforehand and not have to worry about any kind of eligibility guffaws, if you will, anymore. I think this, more importantly, not only for the CBL, I think this kind of improves the 22U program and provides a little bit of certainty for those programs as well.
It'd be hard to say. Like, it's as far as I haven't seen the official. What is the official stance from Baseball Ontario now that these rules have come into place? Like, I haven't seen their official stance on this stuff yet. So we'll have to see how it goes. But it boils down to insurance as far as some of these players go. If they're going back and forth between these two leagues, if they're insured or not. Like, you don't want, worst case scenario, you don't want somebody getting hurt in a CBL game, and Baseball Ontario says, no, guys, we're not covering your insurance policy or whatever for this kid.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be interesting to see how things play out over the next little bit. Just over a month and a half away from the CBL season. I'm sure we'll see you guys a little bit more as the season progresses. Again, once the season gets underway, we'll be back every Tuesday, as we'll be back into our usual Monday night recording sessions and Tuesday morning releases. I know you guys are looking so forward to that. And We will, until then, we will see you next time. This has been another edition of the CBL Changeup, and we'll let you know on social media if we're going to drop another episode between now and the usual Tuesday morning drops that we'll have during the season. There's a little bit of time before then, so I'm sure we will see you again at some time. So again, thanks for joining us. For Braeden, Neil, and I'm Mark. This has been another episode the CBL Changeup.